welcome to my channel. Today's video will be books I'm looking forward to read in August and books I've read in June and July. I apologize for the lighting. I was going to film earlier in the day, but my mom went grocery shopping and I forgot it's the first of the month, which means she's going to be grocery shopping for 2 to 3 hours. And I was cleaning my room earlier, so I went from cleaning my room to going shopping for 2 to 3 hours, and then I came back home. My room still wasn't finished, and it's not finished. I know my aunt was complaining in my other videos of how messy my dresser is. I'm cleaning, and I just have a lot of stuff. And my coworker watched one of my older videos and said that it wasn't that bad, so I think it's just gonna stay this way. Let me know in the comments if you don't mind my messy dresser. I tried to present it nicer. I have the Shadow and Bone trilogy. Let me move my thumb. I can't move my thumb. You can see it. But yeah, so books I read in June and July, books I'm looking forward to reading, and books that I'm currently in the middle of reading. And books that I purchased. So all of that will be in this video. And I did one for May. Or books, I think it was called Books I'm Looking Forward to Reading in June. So, yeah, let's get into it. I am having a fun time speaking today. But books that I have finished reading. Number 1. Let me hold this upright. Crescent City. I gave this book 5 stars out of 5 stars. Is it my favorite Sarah J. Maas book? No. I think ACOTAR is just always going to be at the top of that list because it's just more sentimental. It's the book that got me into reading, and now look at all the books I've read. So ACOTAR is always going to be number 1. But Crescent City is definitely second place because Throne of Glass, it's not bad. I'm just not in love with Throne of Glass. Not compared to ACOTAR. But Crescent City is pretty good. A lot of world building, and it's a lot more intricate compared to ACOTAR or even Throne of Glass or other fantasy books. I've only read one other, which is Shadow and Bone, and I guess Crooked Kingdom, Six of Crow. But that is still part of the Grisha universe, so yeah, but it's a lot more intricate, and it's a little confusing at times when you're reading it, because it's also a lot. But once you get through that portion, which is about, for me, it was the 150 mark, I was like, okay, I have a good understanding as to what's going on. I'm not worried about not understanding anything. And that's also where the story, I think, just really starts to pick up. I love Bryce. Bryce is probably maybe my favorite. Yeah, I really cannot speak today. My favorite Sarah J. Maas character, I think I relate to her, or no, I think I relate to Nesta the most. That's just always going to be the case, but Bryce is definitely second place, so I really like that. Lahaba, I think that's her name. Great character, love her. The guys, I think I like Hunt's personality, but when I looked up fan art, Hunt and Rune, I'm not a fan of guys with long hair. I'm sorry. If a guy has long hair, I'm just not attracted to you. But personality-wise, they're pretty cool. And yeah, so that's book number 1. 5 stars. Book number 2, if I can get it. The Fine Print. I made a TikTok review of this book. I finished this book in... When did I finish this book? July 4th, I finished it. I gave it 3 stars out of 5. It was fine. It just didn't stick out. It's not like, Ronan. He's not a book boyfriend that stands out to me compared to other book boyfriends. And I know someone who's maybe watched my older videos, or my one other older videos, can be like, well, it's because you read dark romance. They're used to guys doing dark stuff. No, that's not the case. I have read The Kiss Quotient. Love The Kiss Quotient. Literally 5 stars. No complaints. Michael will always stand. His name's Michael, right? It's been a while since I've read it. Where's his name? I don't know what his name is, but I'm pretty sure it's Michael. Love it. Great guy. Ronan, good guy. Just nothing about the book just really screamed, oh my goodness, he's amazing. He's a billionaire. He's not even the first billionaire book I've read. I've read a few. He just doesn't stand out. But the book itself, not bad. Will I be reading the second book? Yeah, but I'm in no rush to read it. Unless it becomes the book series becomes a movie, I'm in no rush to read the rest of the books. The next book, I almost said last, but it's not. The rest are on my Kindle app. Twisted Love. My last video, I did a reading blog, so you can see me like reading it, and getting like my thoughts as I'm reading it. If you want a more intricate, I guess, review of it, I gave it 2 stars. I don't like uber possessive guys, and I also don't like groveling guys, and you get both of that in this book. And even though, once again, I've read dark romance, so I'm used to guys being possessive, because that's just kind of a trait that I feel like you get with almost every dark romance book, at least the ones that I've read for the most part. There's been a few where the guys aren't like super possessive, but they have like those tendencies every now and then. From the jump, like literally, in the scene, there's a scene where Ava, she's into photography, and she's in college, and she's like helping one of her friends do like a photo shoot for a project, and it's like, I want to say voyeurism, but she was just wearing something very like scandalous for her friend, and it's all like professional and all this stuff, and the dude literally is like, don't do that, no, and I will ruin your friend's life if you disobey me. And I'm just like, red flag. And I don't mind red flags. I read dark romance. I don't have an issue with dark romance or any of that stuff, but something about that, especially it being so early on in the book, I didn't like. And I think I wouldn't have minded it if he maybe got less possessive, if he was possessive from the very beginning, if he got less possessive over time. I wouldn't have had an issue with it, because in my mind, I'm just like, he was a friend, and this happens more than once in the book, which I think is also an issue that I have, because I was at the very beginning, so I was like, maybe he'll like work through this problem. No, he's the exact same with like good guys, nice guys. One guy was just asking her if he could photograph like his wedding, and he was like, why are you over here? Didn't like it. And then he also sang. No. Thank God there were no lyrics on that page. Oh my god. I could not. So, 2 stars. I could have given it 1 star, but, the romance scenes were good, so it got a 2 from me. I was fine with that, but no. So, my kid, I said that, too. Books that I have read on my Kindle. Let me get some of them up. I should have had this ready to go to. Reign of a King. I believe I gave this, let me go back to my good, 5 stars. Yeah, 5 stars. Great book. It's a dark romance. I think we could all guess that. 10 stars, if I could. I really enjoyed it. So you have Jonathan King, and Jonathan King is Aiden's son. And the first series, because the author has over 30 books, and they're all interconnected. I'm sorry, I am trying to find the other book on here, if I can find that. I don't have it on my Kindle. Whatever. But Aiden King. So now we're focusing on Jonathan. And Aiden, and this isn't a spoiler, you know this right away going into his book, his mom died. And so there's age gap, which I'm not really a big fan of age gap. Like, there are certain tropes that I'm just personally not into. If you're into these tropes, that's great. But age gap really isn't a trope that I'm down with. But it's not like a straight up no. That's the case for this one series that I was reading, Zodiac Academy. I only got like 50%, I think, through that book. But it was setting up a student-teacher romance, and for me personally, if you like it, that's great. Like, I don't want to knock people for liking what they like. But student-teacher romances, for me, are just like a straight no. I remember when I was watching Pretty Little Liars, I would just skip over scenes of Arya and Ezra because, like, I can't. Something, I don't know why, just gives me the ick about those books. If you like them, that's great. But I can't. The age gaps, I'm not particularly fond of them, but I can get over them relatively quickly. And that's the case with Reign of a King. Great book. No complaints. Love them. Jonathan King, great guy. And there's like a mystery in it. That's one thing I like about reading Ken books, is that there's like mysteries and things in them that the characters have to like work at or deal with. And so I really love her books. I can't recommend her books enough. I haven't finished all of her books yet, but I've loved like pretty much almost every single one of her books. I think there's one book that I wasn't really a big fan of, and I think I gave it 3 stars at the end of the day, because it's not like I outright hated it. I just think the author kind of screwed up this like one character. And yeah, so loved Reign of a King. The other one I finished was Vicious Prince, which is one of the kids, high school. They're 18, and so it focuses on this dude Ronan, and it's an arranged marriage, and he wants out of the arranged marriage. His parents set it up, and he's gotten out of arranged marriages for like a million times. Like his parents always like set one up, and he's always able to talk the girl out of it, pay her off, whatever he does it. So all of a sudden, this one girl is like, "Hey, I'm not backing out of this." And he's doing everything he possibly can to get her. He tries to blackmail her. He does it all. And she won't get out of this arranged marriage with him. Now, eventually, he does end up falling for her, but she's actually doing it for revenge. And that's all I'm going to say. I feel like I should also give you the plot of Reign of a King. I think I should give you plots for these books so I can recommend them to you. Or get you guys to want to read them. Reign of the King, you have this girl. She owns this business. And one of, like, the people that managed the money took the money and ran off. So now her business isn't doing so well. So she knows this like investor, billionaire investor, and she like befriends his assistant and gets to go to a wedding as his date, and she thinks it's a great time to talk to the investor to get him to like invest money into her business so she can save it. But the groom of the wedding, his dad is Jonathan King, and Jonathan's wife was her sister, and she looks identical to her sister. And he's like, "What are you doing here?" Or something like, I can't remember exactly what he said, but basically it's like, he's like, "Don't invest with him, invest with me." And she's like, "Why would I do that?" And he's like, "Because if you don't, I'll ruin your like business or whatever." And so she goes on and invests with him, but right before they make the deal, Jonathan comes in and is like, "I bought your company." And he's like, "The only way you can get it back is by staying with me and living with me." And yeah, for 6 months. So that's Reign of a King. It's not as bad as it sounds. It's a really great book. Like I said, I like Reign of King books, so I highly recommend those 2 books. So those are all the books I read in June and July. Now we'll get into books I'm currently reading, and then books that I have bought. So books that I am currently reading, let me get the right one, is Crooked Kingdom. I thought I could finish it yesterday, but I only made it to like the halfway mark. I should have known I wasn't going to finish it yesterday, but that was me being stupid. I'm really enjoying it. I like Six of Crows, I love Six of Crows. Six of Crows, I think, is just like one of the most popular books. Like, it's like a really good, well done book. The show, on the other hand, I'm on season 2 of Shadow and Bone. The show, I don't. Sorry, I twitch sometimes. I don't like it. I don't like season 2. Like, I don't know how they're gonna give the Crows, because apparently they were supposed to give the Crows their spin-off, and I'm just like, I don't know how y'all are going to do. I'm going back to my Goodreads. I turned off my phone. I'm just over here like, I don't know how y'all are gonna go back to freaking or do a City Crows spin-off when you took so many goddamn things from the book? You know, like, that's a serious question that we need an answer to. Is how are they going to make a City Crows spin-off when they took every, like, important scene and storyline? But the book itself, great. I'm really enjoying this book. Is it as good as the Six of Crows book? As of right now, not necessarily, but I still thoroughly enjoy it. I do know a character dies. I guess I should put spoilers in this video. I know Cal dies. Callahan, or no, I'm saying the actor's name, I'm sorry. Matthias. I know Matthias dies, in this book. I don't know when, but I have a feeling I know how. It's gonna be that vial of poison, isn't it? I wish they could have just traveled to Novi Zim and lived a nice life together, or even Shuhan. Like, come on, you two couldn't just travel and go. I'm upset about that. I really am. But yeah, so Crooked Kingdom at the halfway point. I don't know when he's gonna die. I just know he's gonna die. Our beautiful Bimbo. Because he's kind of like a bimbo. More culturally based, though, because like, he's in a new environment, so he's just kind of, he's very stiff, but it gives off kind of like bimbo energy in a cute way. Next book I'm currently reading that I honestly should have finished already. Heir of Fire, Throne of Glass. Honestly, I'm not that far from finishing it. Not that far. I just am not in love with this book. I felt like most of this book was Selena not doing too well mentally. And then Ronan's like, hey, suck it up. Like, that's how, like, most of this book has been. The only thing that's even making this book remotely interesting right now is the witch Manon. I'm like, okay, she's kind of cool. Like, I'm vibing with her. And then I was like, oh, Dorian has, like, a new love interest. And then I saw, like, a Pinterest of, like, characters from the Throne of Glass series, and I saw that his love interest isn't on there. And I was like, oh, she's gonna die. I know she's gonna die. And I'm not looking forward to that. So, fun. Next up, books that I have bought in the month of, I think I bought pretty much all these books in July. I think maybe this one I'm about to show you, I might have bought it in June, but I think I bought it in July. It was either late June or early July, one of the two, but I did buy this book, and that is Icebreaker. Awesome! It's not charging. Oh my goodness. My battery was like dying on me. I don't know why it wasn't charging. Icebreaker. I am really excited to read this book. I know there's all that drama going on. I'm definitely on the wife's side. Like, listen, it's fine to use them as, like, inspiration of, like, oh my goodness, these hockey players remind me of so-and-so. But at some point, it does get a little much. Especially when you're, idolizing the player. Hey, I'm sorry about that. My laptop said I was out of space, and I gave up, and I decided I would film the next day, so the lagging is better. Yay! So, back to Icebreaker. I didn't finish that. I feel like it's important to mention, obviously, the drama that's going on with hockey players. I'm on the wife's side. Kiera, look, if you're saying hockey players are hot, or not even that, like, he's exactly what I picture, and that's for, like, this character, or whatever character in a book, that's fine. But when you do it for, like, start saying those things about a real person, it's a problem. So, yeah, so I figured I'd just note that, but, very excited to read this book. I can't remember what I said yesterday, but I don't think I mentioned that yet. So, next book that I bought better than the movies. I have been wanting to read this book forever. I feel like every booktuber ever has like given this book like 5 stars, or they all like really like it. Like I feel like there's no YouTuber that I personally seen that has like disliked this book. So I'm really excited to read it. It looks like it's gonna be just a really fun, cute book. So that's awesome. The next book I plan on reading is Twisted Games. Or plan on reading next. I bought, but I do plan on starting this within the next couple of days. I like we all know I did not like Twisted Love. Twisted Love was the first book. I am not uber excited to read it, but apparently this character is less toxic, and I'm like, okay. So I think I'll like. Is his name Rye? Reese? I'm thinking of A Court of Thorns and Roses right now, so I want to say Reese. I don't know if that's accurate. Let me know how to pronounce his name. It's a bodyguard romance. She's a princess. He's her bodyguard. I've never read a bodyguard romance, and it's not a romance that I'm looking really forward to because it sounds like it's going to be possessive and really protective. And once again, that's just not a trope that I'm really down with. I can get over it, but I'm not in love with that trope. So this book this book seems like it's going to be like that. Maybe a bit less, but I don't know. So, but I will read it, and I will read the next book. I'm gonna buy the next book, Twisted Hate, one day, because that book, the characters, because like you see all the characters in the books except for Christian, who's in the fourth one. He doesn't pop up until I think the fourth book, maybe this one or the next one. I'm not too sure. But Jules and Josh sound like a fun couple. It sounds like enemies to lovers. They're gonna mess with each other, and that's kind of more up my alley. I mentioned this in my reading blog for Twisted Love, but yeah. So Twisted Games, not uber excited about, but I will read. And I don't know if I'll do a reading vlog for that one like I did Twisted Love. Once again, let me know. And I might do it. And maybe do it better because even I didn't like my vlog for Twisted Love. But I was like, I filmed it. I'm going to post it. And then I just might delete it one day. So, but let me know if you want me to do one for that one. And I'll make it better, I promise. The next book. I don't know how I got it, okay? I had gone to Barnes & Noble so many times and asked, because not like every day or asked every day, but looked for it because like I work nearby a Barnes & Noble, so I go there when I'm on break at work every so often, and every time I went, I would try and see if they had the book. Even though I would check Google and it would say no, I'd be like, maybe their Google page, whatever, hasn't updated yet. And then one day, literally, maybe 3 days ago, it was, I was about to go back to work, literally a minute before I needed to be back at work. And I was like, let me check the Barnes & Noble app and see if it says, if it has this book. And it said it did. And I immediately got up and went straight to the book. I found it. It was at like the center like help table, you know. Got it, went to check out, and I was like, man, I never thought I'd see this book. He's like, yeah, we got like 14, and I think there's only 2 left. And I was like, there's 1 left. I got the second to last one. And that is The Fourth Wing. I know. I don't know how I did it. If you don't know anything about this book has been everywhere on TikTok. Everybody and their mother. Fourth Wing, 5 stars, 5 stars, everywhere. And I have it. When will I read it? Hopefully soon. Excited to read it. But yeah, I got it. I freaking got it. Next up are books that I am looking forward to read for the month of August. And first up on that list is The Spanish Love Deception. I'm really excited to read this. It honestly, I know people are definitely very 50-50. And one booktuber that I watched, just Allie, I really like her videos. I remember one time she did a video where she read this book. And she said, "Oh, it's so cute and cheesy." And that has me worried because I found the fine print to be a little bit cheesy. And once again, I just didn't really like the fine print. So I'm a little on the concerned side, being real. I'm just a little concerned because I just don't know if I like cheesy books. It's fake dating. I love fake dating. Like I said, I read The Kiss Quotient. That's one of my favorite books I've ever read. So, in theory, I should like it. I know people say that it's also kind of unnecessarily long. I don't know how many pages it is. Oh, it's like 400 something. Oh, okay, yeah, that's a little unnecessarily long. I'll give it that. But I'm getting a lot faster at reading books, so hopefully, well, I like to think I am. But yeah, so very excited to read it. The next book, I think, is the one I'm most looking forward to. I know I just said The Spanish Love Deception, but this one I'm really excited to read. And that is The Roommate. So basically, her roommate is a porn star. It sounds like a fun time. That's all. And I don't think it's going to be like as crazy as like other books I've read though. So like don't worry. I feel like I'm just excited to read this book, okay? And that's that. Honestly, really, I think more than anything, it's the cover. I just really love the cover. Like, I think after I read this book, whether or not I like it or dislike it, this book is going to be on display the day I like get a bookcase or move out. Either two, probably move out. This is going on display because I just absolutely adore the cover of this book. It's just so pretty. I could stare at it all day. Next book I'm looking forward to reading, if these don't fall, is Queen of Shadows, the fourth book, or fifth for me, because I read the prequel first, of the Throne of Glass series. I am really, I don't want to say I'm struggling with Throne of Glass, but like, am I reading it as fast as other books? No. No. But it's not a bad, the series isn't bad. I just don't think I'm as invested in Selena than say like other characters, especially by Sarah J. Maas, because I love A Court of Thorns and Roses. I just finished Crescent City and I loved Crescent City. But Selena, she's fine. But yeah, so and then it doesn't help that each book gets more thicker and thicker. Like I think the one I'm currently reading, Air of Fire, this one's at like 600 something. That's a lot. I'm going to finish the series. I'm going to finish the series before the end of the year, that's for sure. But am I in love with this series? No. People say that the third book is where it starts to get good, but I've heard other people say that this book is where it really picks up. So, like, picks up pace. So, I'm wondering if I just need to get to this book. But I was like, but I swear people said that with the third book. Honestly, I kind of prefer Crown of Midnight. Like, yes, it was just more simplistic, I felt like, with Crown of Midnight. I was like, okay, this is easy to get into. And now, we're talking about books that I'm looking forward to buy in August. That will be Crescent City, House of Sky and Breath, the second one. And I am so excited for the third one that's going to come out. Because, like I said earlier, I know spoilers for the second book. And I know a certain shadow singer is going to show up at the end of that book, and that the author, when she releases the third one, which is House of the Flaming Shadows, if I'm not mistaken, different stores will be selling different bonus chapters. And the one that will be released in Walmart will have a bonus chapter of Asriel and Nesta from A Court of Thorns and Roses. Best believe I'm going to Walmart January 30th. I will fist fight any of you to get that book. But, so first up on my list of books I'm going to buy this month will be House of Sky and Breath. Then probably Twisted Games. I'm trying to think of any other series. Maybe the next two Throne of Glass books, because I already have Queen of Shadow, so I'll buy the next two, because I know those, it's recommended that they be tandem read, because I know one book is like all of like Alan's point of view, and then the other one, yes, I know about Alan. Like I said, I spoil things for myself. The next one's going to, and then the other one takes place at the exact same time, but it focuses more on Cole. Or I found a video, apparently his name is Kale. So I might switch between Kale and Cole, because I can and will. Shocked when I read that. I was like, I'm insane. Or no, I'm not insane. The author is insane. I was like, where does Kale come from? There is no K in his name. But, whatever. But Kale was fine in like the first two books. But then you got to the end of the second book, and I was just like, okay, Kale. And then now in the third book, whenever I get like a chapter that focuses like on him and from like his point of view, I'm like, okay, cool. And now there's a whole book that's focused on him and maybe some other characters, which might help solve the problem. But am I excited about that? No. So, I will be reading those. I'll be purchasing those books. And I think that's it. I don't think there's any other books that's at the top of my list that I want to read right now. So, yeah. Favorite book that I've read this month? Crescent City. I really like Crescent City. And I was really proud of myself because I really forced myself because I wanted to finish it before the end of the month. So literally like the day before the end of the month, I read pretty much the entire book, which was impressive by me. Will I do that feat again? Probably not. Well, who knows. If I want to do these monthly videos, because that's why I didn't do one for July, or no, for June, because I just didn't read that many books in June. So I want to become faster at reading and post regularly, not once every other month or anything like that. I want to post more consistently, so we're gonna do that. But yeah, so that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The audio, the lighting, I will learn how to work on these things. Just be patient. You're sticking with me through the roughness, and then we're going to get better over time. So bear with me. We will get better. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you're going to comment, be nice. Common sense, but most people don't have that these days. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!